In my previous video, you learned about editing sequences and matched action with this footage. Now you've kind of gone through color as well. Something I would just like to point out is you've just learned about log profiles and shooting in that. The reason that that's important for you as a video editor is because sometimes you're going to get some flat footage. And if you don't know what a log profile is, you might think, wow, this videographer just did a terrible job. Like, what is going on? But there's a good chance that it was shot in one of those log profiles. So S-log and C-log. Footage sometimes looks like this slightly orange flat, so lacking contrast footage here. So I'm not going to go too deep into color correction just because you're going to watch those videos and I don't want to give you redundant information. And these videos do it in a really good way on LinkedIn Learning. So be sure you watch those. That is assigned in the reading section of this module. But really briefly, so we have some cool footage, so blue footage and some warm footage over here. I would like to say all of this lacks contrast. If you get log footage, chances are it's going to lack contrast, so you need to add that and white balance it. I'd also like to point out that this is one of the times where you switch tabs and arrangements. So I'm going to hit this color button and then it'll bring up the lumetry. Still haven't quite figured out which one's the best way to say it. I've heard it both ways, but that's what it brings up. And then you'll see some of your other windows go away. Just don't forget to switch it back to editing when you are done. So things to think of in this footage, you are color correcting, not grading. I don't want you to use LUTs, so the LUTs would be in the effects panel over here under Lumetri presets. These are all LUTs. I don't want you to use those. You need to manually color correct this stuff, and you're not color grading. You're not adding a theme. What I want you to do is to make these look consistent. So this is really cool, a lot of blue. This is really warm, a lot of orange. So you need to meet them somewhere in the middle and make it look consistent. So there's not noticeable changes across. Make sure that you're adjusting contrast. Super important in this. I know I've said it already, but that's how important it is. Other things that I would adjust when working with this footage, white balance, obviously, because this is super orange. Contrast, I might like deepen the blacks, add a little saturation since it's a little flat. Then I might go into creative here and adjust vibrance. And just make it look good, not hyper real. Make it look as realistic as possible. How do you think this bakery looked with the person's eyes, with the videographer's eyes? That's what you're going to recreate here. Again, no color grading, don't make it all fancy. I just want consistency. Cool. Well, go ahead, watch those Lumetri color correction videos on LinkedIn Learning. That'll be in the next tab under readings, and give it a whirl.